Hi, I'm Johnny from UltimatePaperMache.com, and today I spent about an hour playing around and I made this Goblin's portrait out of WED Clay, and I just had a lot of fun with it. It really didn't take very long. I just kind of threw it together, moved some clay around just to see what kind of expressions would come out of it, and I want to show it to you. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't know if I'm really going to turn it into an actual mask or not. I just haven't decided yet. But let's start at the beginning. I think it was clear back in January that I showed you how I made a mold for this thing. Basically it's a form that I can use to make a face, a human face on, and I kind of built it over a resin skull that I had. And I've got a mold for it, so I can make as many as I want. I just make them out of plaster cloth in that mold. It's a silicone mold. I'm not going to show it to you now because you can go look it up on my YouTube channel if you want to. But since it's just been sitting around and I haven't used it, I decided that now's the time I'm actually going to start playing with it. And it's almost Halloween, so I think maybe I'm going to make a mask. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use this book as my inspiration, I guess you can say. It's by Brian Froud. I probably mispronounced his name, something terrible. It's called Goblins, and it's just got the cutest pictures in it. I just love this. I'm going to use this one just as inspiration. It's got a beak on it, or a really big nose. Can't tell because you can only see one side. It looks definitely bird-like to me. So I'm going to have my little guy be somewhat bird-like. And I'm going to put it way over here so that I don't mess up my book while I'm using my clay. Now, what is WED clay, you're saying? Because everybody always asks. It's this stuff. I got it in the mail a couple of days ago and I haven't gotten to use it yet. And I just love this stuff. The WED is actually Walt Disney's initials because that's what it was developed for, was for creating all the animatronics and the big displays of animals and creatures and monsters and things. It's used by a lot of people in the movie industry for their characters. And you don't actually fire it. It is a mineral-based clay, just like buttery clay. And it feels like pottery clay when you're working with it, which is really cool because you get your hands all dirty. It's just really fun. You feel like a little kid playing around. But it is smoother. You don't fire it. You can't fire it because they put some stuff in it that keeps it from drying out quite as fast as regular clay does. So you don't get the cracking as badly. You could, I suppose, if you put it on really thick and made it dry really fast, I suppose you could, but that's never happened to me. So people use this instead of oil-based clay when they're trying to make something big or they're trying to make it really fast, because this is really fast to work with. What I'll do first, I'm just going to use my hot glue gun. You don't need to watch me do that. I'll turn off the camera, and as soon as it's hardened on there, I'll just cover this guy up with my WED clay and start seeing if I can make it somewhat cute and bird-like. We'll see, it's going to be fun. So I'm going to quit now. I don't actually know if I'm going to do anything else with this guy. It was really fun to do. I mean, it was just like, you know, an hour of fun time with the clay. And I like pushing the clay around just to see what kind of expression you can get. It's not an exact copy, obviously, of the drawing. The drawing is flat. It was just a sketch, really, really fast sketch. And this... you know, like I didn't like the eyes on the sculpture when one of them was closed. It's really cute on the drawing, but I just didn't like it on the sculpture, so I opened up both eyes. It'd be really fun to make this into a latex mask. It would be an awful lot of fun to play with it, but I checked the prices. A quart of latex, casting latex on Amazon is about 15 bucks. And then you have to get special paint too. You can't just, I don't think, use acrylic. I may be wrong about that, but I don't think so. I think you have to use special paint because latex is rubber and most paint won't stick to it. And that would end up costing me about 30 bucks. I don't really need to spend $30 on a mask I don't even have any use for. So I don't think I'll do that. However, if I do finish this, and let me know what you think. If I do finish it, I would not use the fast setting paper mache like I use in the book I wrote on how to make a mask. I use fast setting paper mache using blue shop towels in order to create the masks in that book. I wouldn't do that with this guy for the only reason though is because I happen to have some plaster of Paris bandages that I bought about 6 months ago, and no matter how well you wrap those up, and I've left them in their original packaging and everything, but sooner or later the moisture from the air will get in and stiffen up your plaster bandages, and it makes it really hard to use for your craft projects. So I need to use them for something. If I go ahead and finish this as a mask, well, a wall sculpture mask, then that's what I would do. I would make it exactly the same way that I made the gorilla mask, which is also made out of plaster of Paris. Basically, it's exactly the same way as using paper mache. It was just using plaster cloth instead. What I would do if I do keep him, I would probably go find some feathers and give him 2 or 3 just for a top knot right on top, just to be fun. And I might even give him some bird colors, which I think would be really cool. It would take a long time. I'm just not sure if it's worth it. Let me know what you think. And in the meantime, be sure and watch all of the other videos on my YouTube channel. I've got some really good tutorials out there for making paper mache and concrete and epoxy clay and all kinds of stuff. You'll find something that you really want to make. And come visit the blog, because there's some guest posts out there that don't show up on YouTube. So if you haven't come out there and clicked on the blog button at the top, you're really missing out. And there's been some really nice ones lately. I don't want you to miss those. And as long as you're there, you might as well come to the Daily Sculptors page and just to say hi. I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.